Dream Team's all right with me. Dream Team's all right. Oh, yeah. I am the Warn Dog, and I'm without Roy and Calvin. They're unfortunately late withdrawals for this week, so I couldn't let the team down, so I'm actually going to bring you some information in this little short, sharp episode of DT Talk for round 19. All right, let's get straight into Around the Grounds, and what have we got this week? I should be wearing a green vest, but unfortunately, fortunately for me, I didn't go and pick it up, so it's all good, but I ended up scoring a 23-12, which is 1 point below par. 23-13 was the par score, so, you know, not too bad. I moved up a little bit in the rankings. Calvin and Roy were actually very, very good there and improved their rankings slightly to move along. So that is how we looked there. Straight into now the Golden Stubby. If we were able to award this, I would have loved to have just given this to Adam Treloar. He's been awesome the last couple of weeks. He did come second, though, to Sam Gibson. He is a champion, 133 last week. I reckon he was probably sitting on a lot of people's benches, but if you did use him, that was very, very well. Pretty much as good a cover as you could ever ask for. All right, straight into the teams for round 19. Let's have a look at those. All right, the first game is Friday night. Friday night, we've got the Hawks and the Cats. There is no Buddy Steele. He is not there. Stevie J has been named. And a very handy one here, Oren Stevenson is back with West out with a knee, so that could help a lot of people on Saturday. The Bulldogs and the Roos. Joe Hannison, or however you're going to say that name, is going to make his debut. He's from East Fremantle, 104 grand mid, so could be an option there for a downgrade. Tom Campbell returns. He's another ruckman that some people are floating with on their bench, and he's last on the bench, but should play, you would think. The Roos, there's nothing really to talk about there apart from Sam Gibson. He is last on the bench, nothing to worry about, I don't think, after that super game last week. Then we're going up to Skoda, and we're going to look at GWS and Port. This is Sheedy's 1000th game as player and coach, and we've got Adam Kennedy and Stephen Cornelio are back. Plus Dean Brogan. That is a huge one there. He is named in the ruck with Giles on the bench. And then for Port, if you're rolling with Darren Pfeiffer, he has been dropped there. Over to the Derby. Over in WA, we are looking at Greg Broughton, our boy. Everyone's boy is done for the season. He's had finger surgery. That Cameron Sutcliffe, who's pretty much been their sub every week, has been dropped. Fifey, look at him. He's still sitting there. 380 grand is bargain with a break-even of 80. He's someone worth looking at if you are looking to trade in the forward line. And the other one there to think about, Coxie is named. However, there is a fitness test on him with his ankle, so there could be a late withdrawal. Very handy with those other guys that are back in the ruck. Collingwood and St Kilda at the MCG on Saturday night. Harry O, Daisy, Sidebottom, Jolly all missed last week. They are back from their little GWS-related injuries. Willingham's also back from his suspension. Marty Clark is one of the guys that's been dropped, so know that. St Kilda, nothing really to see there. Brisbane and Richmond up at the Gabba. We've got Jordan Lyle playing his first game for the Lions, but he's not worth looking at because he's over 200 grand. Drummond is back, I'm sure, tackling Tithead. And Tigers, not much happening there either, so it's all pretty simple games. Straight into Melbourne and the Gold Coast Suns. That's at the MCG. James Magner comes back. He's on the extended bench. Also, Aaron Hall is back in for the Suns, but they are both named there last on the extended bench, so that could be a slight issue with them getting the game. Make sure you check those teams out and these teams on the Friday arvo before lockout. All right, Carlton and Sydney at Etihad Stadium. Robbo still is not back, unfortunately, so that is a little bit of a worry for all of us. Tom Bell has been named again. He is last on the extended bench. He's had a couple of ripper games to start with. He's a 95 grand defender. He scored 62 and then a nice 83 last week, so he could be a great downgrade option this week. He's probably the only real one there to have a think about. Shane Mumford is back in for the Swans, named in the forward pocket. And the last game of the round, we have Adelaide and the Bombers at Amy Stadium in the twilight game there. Sam Shaw returns from his eye injury. He's named in the back pocket, so he's straight back in. He is highly regarded there, you'd say. Sam Jacobs straight back into the ruck as well after his little rest last week against Geelong. For the Bombers, Stanton is out with soreness. All right, that is a big one, and I think a lot of people are ready to trade him, and that is a bone of contention for a lot of people. The other one there that might be a little bit of an interesting one is Corey DeLulio. He has been dropped. All right, so they're the teams. Make sure you check those on Friday afternoon for any late changes. Following all of us on Twitter, which at WarneyDT, at CalvinDT, at RoyDT, and our main one at DT Talk. Really important. We'll get the news going through there. How can we not have the captains? We've got to talk about Calvin's captains. Calvin, he's not here, but I can maybe do a little bit of Calvin. Not really. I'm just going to lock in Dane Swan. How can you take it away from him? If you don't have Swanee, Ablett there in second place is a pretty good option. You'd think, I think he'll be ending up with a very, very, very tidy score as we go. All right, just quickly, let's have a look at a quick meathead competition. We can still do this here. You still need to be the first one to tweet in at meathead_shop and whack in there at DT Talk as well, so we know who the winner is. We want to know what past score was for this week. I did mention it earlier in this little video, so check that out. Or if you follow us on Twitter, you would know, so send those through now. And while we're talking to Twitter, let's look at Twitter time. All right, some very simple questions here from some guys. We're going to look at Thomas Wilson. He has sent in, is Buddy worth the risk to hold if he's not going to even play forward and goals? That sounds a bit odd, but pretty much could even be out for up to 2 more. Well, if you've got the trades, I think it's worth trading Buddy. If you're pretty much cemented in the top 4, maybe hold if you're pretty confident he's back. They do play Port Adelaide next week, which I think is a bit of a worry. So that's down here in Launceston, actually. So, yeah. If I had the trades, if I had 3 or more trades, I'd probably be getting rid of Buddy, and because he's worth so much, you can pretty much go to anyone you want. So any of those forwards that you haven't got yet, you could even do a bit of dual position switcheroo, get a midfielder, something like that, and see how we go. Right, Sam wants to know, he's got a tough call between playing Gibson and Gibbs this week. Now, it's a nice problem to have. However, Gibbsy's been pretty average. He might turn the corner for us a bit. I'd still back him in. My reason for backing him in is because, well, Gibson, that's his name. Gibson's named last on the interchange bench. I don't think that's a worry, but that's enough to scare me to say just stick with Gibbsy because Gibbsy can do it. All right, so I'd go with him. A lot of people like to chase a score 1 week, but, you know, we haven't seen those huge scores from Gibson, so stick with Gibbsy if I were you. And MJ would like to know, is it worth trading Robbo to Fife? Expecting Buddy back next week. Robbo, I'm unsure of. Well, Robbo has been a few weeks for us now, and that's been a huge worry, I think. I'd be loving the opportunity to get rid of Robbo. It is a calf injury, soft tissue stuff. Anything can happen from here on. So, you know, if you're needing to win this week, especially, it's worth getting rid of him. And I reckon Fifey is probably one of the greatest options to pick up ever at the moment because he is so good. A lot of other good options to pick up around the place. I reckon Mark Murphy, if you're trying to work out your midfield at the moment, this is a general question for everyone because a few people have asked this, especially the Stanton owners. Stanton to Murphy is a great trade this week, so look at that, get on it. Well, that is this little DT Talk episode for you. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned to our website. It all heats up. This is the last roster match, so the finals start next week. Make sure you're following us on Twitter. Make sure you're getting involved on our Facebook as well. Lots of different things happening, and the website will keep ticking right up until the grand final, even though quite a few hits and commenters have dropped off. We still want you there. It will be about. It'll all be happening. Good luck this week.